Hey everybody, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. Reporting to you from the bandstand in Millinocket, Maine, where it's very cold outside. Single digits here on Christmas Eve. I just want to go ahead and take a moment and share some thoughts that I had on Pokémon Go Plus, which is something I picked up a little over a week ago. Cool little gadget. I got it because it's cold. It's, up here, and playing is kind of difficult, especially because the gloves, no matter how well they pat a glove, when you're talking temperatures up here can reach in the negative 30s with the wind chill. It's really hard to walk around holding your phone, because it just goes right through the gloves, and so it's a lot easier to have your gloves on and then you have your hands in the pocket. Not only that, because of my nature of my work, I am moving a lot, and so I can't always just have my phone out trying to capture all that mileage, and so my thought was that a Pokemon Go Plus might help me with that. So we're going to kind of dive right in. First, the negatives. It loses connection with the phone a bit more often than I would like, and it doesn't always do a great job at letting you know that that has happened. And so, you have no idea. Did I capture all that mileage or whatever? I have no idea. So you kind of have to check it periodically to make sure it's still connected. The other thing is that, under the Pokemon Go Plus options, it gives you the option for it to ignore either Pokestops or nearby Pokemon or both. And my experience so far has been that if you deselect either of those or both, that not only does it crash, it crashes so hard that I have to do a complete reset of my phone. I actually have to restart the entire phone in order to fix it and get it to work again, which is so annoying. Which means that I basically have to leave it on all the time for Pokestops and Pokemon, which, isn't necessarily a big deal where I live because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So if I'm just doing business around the office, it's, it doesn't really have much of an impact. Pardon my arms getting tired. As far as the battery life, I don't really know. It's not rechargeable, which is what I hoped. That's kind of annoying. But, some positives. It does light up rather nice. It's a blue for the Pokestop that I'm standing at. And then it flashes to let you know that you got it. It will flash red if you don't get it. What is actually really kind of nifty is that they were smart enough that it vibrates as well. And it vibrates specific patterns depending on whether it's a Pokestop or a Pokemon and whether you were successful or you weren't. That is super handy, which means that you really don't have to be looking at it. I can keep it in my pocket, on my wrist, wherever I happen to have it. And I don't have to actually look at it to know what has happened. Now, I normally keep it off the bracelet thing. I don't use it. I keep it in my pocket, in my gloved hand. And so when it happens, I can tell just by the way it's pulsing whether or not I'm dealing with a Pokemon or a Pokestop, which is a super benefit. Obviously, if you pull it out, it'll be blue for a Pokestop, and it'll be green for a Pokemon, and then it's red if you don't catch something, and then it does this little happy multicolor dance. Apparently, I'm near another Pokestop and close enough to collect on it, maybe? Yes. Okay, that's odd. Didn't see that coming. The other one's a little bit further away. That's another thing. This thing tends to pick up on stuff before anyone else does. Like if I am just using my phone, there's a certain radius in which I'll catch Pokemon or be able to catch a Pokestop, and it seems like it's further with this. The other thing I've noticed is that if I'm in a car, nothing spawns over 30 miles an hour now because Niantic's changed it. You can't catch a Pokestop over 20 miles an hour. At least that's been my experience. But driving along, even on the interstate at 75 miles an hour, which is the speed limit up here where I live, I have had this thing go off. And, you press a button, throw a Pokeball, because why wouldn't you? So it's kind of weird. Like, it'll operate at speeds that your phone won't operate at, which is kind of cool. At those, anything over 20 miles an hour. Actually, anything about 10 miles an hour, you'll go past the Pokestop too fast for this thing to ever find it. And it prioritizes Pokemon over Pokestop. So if you're looking for just items, like you need to restock and you're ignoring Pokemon, you might just want to turn this thing off because it will not recognize the Pokestop in time, number one. And number two, if there's a Pokemon nearby, it wants to catch it. Catch rates, tend to be fairly low. But it does seem to be kind of random, because I've caught some stuff that I would never expect to catch on one throw with a Pokeball. Obviously, it won't throw Great Balls or Ultra Balls. It'd be lovely if there were options where you could go in and tell it, throw Pokeballs. Above this CP, throw a Great Ball, and above this, throw an Ultra. I don't see that really happening. I mean, it can't deal with the options it has now without shutting down, so I doubt that that'll work. But it would be nice. Like, if the future, if you're looking to improve this Niantic, that'd be kind of cool. I have to say that overall, living where I live, as cold as it is, it's been pretty helpful. I've definitely hatched more eggs using it than I would have normally, so that's wicked handy. Never mind the fact that I seem to be the unluckiest person on the face of the planet, though, when it comes to 10Ks. I've been playing since July. I have only had 6. Anyway, if you've got one of these and you've had different experiences, let us know in the comments. And again, Merry Christmas, guys.